Today we're going to dehydrate some pasta. So I know some of y'all are probably already thinking, why would you dehydrate pasta? Isn't it already dehydrated? No. Right now, what you have in the box is raw, uncooked pasta. When we dehydrate it, we cook it and then dehydrate it. So it's going to rehydrate a lot faster. So I'm just going to show you the two kinds that I'm doing in this video. The reason I'm showing you these two is because I actually made something with both of these types of pasta, and I made the videos for y'all, and then realized I never showed y'all how to do this, and I know that somebody is going to want to know how I dehydrated it. So that is why I'm doing that. So don't freak out because I broke the pasta. Because we're making, the reason I'm going to use these is to make some quick cook side dishes. So I want smaller pieces of pasta, plus they're going to be a little easier to dehydrate that way for me to fit on everything. So you're just going to break your fettuccine into 3 pieces, and then we're going to cook that according to the box directions. Now for the amount I'm making today, I am using a half of a box, so 8 ounces of pasta is what I'm using. So I cooked it according to the box directions, and then I am going to lay it out on my dehydrator trays. Now, you don't have to have the mesh liners for this, but I use them for almost everything. I got them off of Amazon, but I use them for almost everything, and they make it where your pasta doesn't fall down through the racks if you have big holes in the rack of your dehydrator like I do. So what you're going to do is take your cooked pasta and just spread it out as even as you can. Now, clearly mine is some of it is on top of each other. It will still dehydrate. It just may take a little longer. So do the best you can. Don't stress about trying to get every individual piece when you're doing noodles like this. So once you get all of your pasta on your trays, you're going to dehydrate this at 135 degrees Fahrenheit until it's done. I start mine usually mid-afternoon and just let it go all night, and that way I know that it's completely dehydrated. There's a lot of factors that can determine the amount of time it takes: your dehydrator, the environment you're in, how well you cooked your pasta, all that kind of stuff. And you can do any kind of pasta. You can do macaroni noodles, shells, rotini, any of that, but just know that those thicker pasta pieces are going to take a little longer to dehydrate and probably rehydrate as well. So once they're all dehydrated, I always take anything I dehydrate and I put it on a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and then I let it just cool all the way down. That's not super hot anyway because the dehydrator doesn't get really, really hot. But I mean, it can, but it doesn't for the temperature we're using. So I just let it sit on the counter and I let it cool all the way down. Now because I overlapped this when we were making it, when I put it on my trays, they are stuck together, and you do have to kind of play with them a little bit to get the pieces apart. Now, if you have the patience to just lay each one individually out, if you have the time for that, you can absolutely do that, but it will still work if you overlap it like I did. And here I'm just showing y'all that, see how it just snaps? We know it's fully dehydrated. So like I said, we're going to let this cool down just to room temperature. It doesn't take very long, 15-20 minutes. And it's ready to go. So when you're ready to put this in your jar, these are half-gallon jars that I'm using. And I'm going to use my little funnel there. You can get those anywhere. And then I'm going to just kind of break up the pieces a little bit. Because the fettuccine is a little bit wider of a pasta, the wider one that we're doing today, it's a little easier to pull apart. So I just kind of gently pull it apart. You can just squeeze it and break it up if you want to, but for what I wanted to use it for, I didn't want tiny pieces of pasta. I kind of still wanted somewhat of a little bit of length on my little noodles. So, but any way you want to do it is fine. If you want to break it up into small pieces because you don't have the patience for this, then you certainly can. So you're just going to stuff it all down into your jar. And then I always, when I put the lid on my jar, I shake it to break up any more of those pieces. I just shake it around a little bit, and it'll kind of break them up a little more without completely pulverizing them. And then you'll have a jar full of fettuccine pasta. And make sure y'all are subscribed, because I'm going to show you recipes to make with all of this coming up very soon. So the next one we're going to do today is angel hair pasta. And I just bought the half length because I was going to break it anyway. And then I cooked it according to the box directions, and then I let it drain. And I actually let it drain and walked away and did something else. So when I start putting my scoops of noodles onto my dehydrator trays, they are really sticking together a lot, as you can see. And these, again, are even a little bit harder to get into a single layer, but they're a lot smaller, so they're easy to, I mean, they'll dehydrate easier. I mean, you know, quicker, as quick, whatever I'm trying to say. So I went back over there and rinsed my pasta again in some cold water just to break them up a little bit more. And then I'm just having to use my hand. Make sure your hands are clean and just spread those out as best as you can. The thinner you get them, the better it's going to be, because it's going to be easier to break them apart later and they'll go a little quicker. But clearly I don't have the patience for that. So, you know, this is what I do. So we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to dehydrate these at 135 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. Now, if you're not comfortable doing it overnight, you can absolutely get up, do this early in the morning, and let it go all day while you're up, or whatever works for you. I just like to set it and let it go all night so I don't have to think about it, and then it's ready when I get up the next morning. So the same thing with that one as we did with the last one. We're going to cool these little noodles, these little wreaths, these little food wreaths, if you will. These really overlapped and stuck together, and they look like some janky little wreaths you could hang on the door. If that's, you know, if that's your aesthetic, you can do that. But so I just did, like I said, the same thing. I'm going to get a parchment lined cookie sheet, and I'm going to just lay all my pasta out on there, all my little angel hair noodles, and then I'm going to let them come to room temperature. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just let them cool all the way down. I'm breaking these up. You see, they're a little more difficult to break up because I overlapped them so much. But it's still going to be fine. And you could even break them up even smaller if you don't mind them being tiny. And some of y'all may be wondering, why the heck would you even dehydrate pasta? Because it's going to cook a whole lot faster when you get ready to recook it. And if you like things like pastaroni, the Knorr pasta sides, or you camp and you want some quick food that you can make while you're camping, this is a perfect thing to do for that. You can still get these carbs if you need them, or just the pasta if you want it, whatever your needs are, you know what I mean? And, you know, it won't take forever to cook it. So this is our little angel hair pasta. And again, you can use any kind of pasta you want, but for the recipes that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to do 4 different recipes, probably 2 separate videos, of some things that y'all can do with these, so you will know how to cook them, reheat them, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so those are coming up. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. So I am just going to break these up the best I can, put them into my jar. This is also a half-gallon jar. I will link my jars and my dehydrator and the mats, and I'll link all that for y'all if y'all are looking for any of that. But that is really as simple as it is. Any kind of pasta you want to be able to quickly eat, you can dehydrate. Just cook it according to the box directions, and then dehydrate it, and then store it in your jar, and it'll keep on your shelf, I mean, probably forever if we're being honest, but it usually doesn't last that long. So I like to have this on hand for quick meals. All right, that is all that I have for y'all today, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.